And he looks up at the ceiling. Does anyone know how to get out?
Well, let's see what else is down here before we make that assumption, or before we go looking for the exit.
Let me try to stack up some stuff and get out of here.
Alright, I'll take a look around.
And as you see him just kind of like slowly looking at all the stuff, get out of here, dead body. He's gonna start kind of looking at the body.
We could make a ladder out of the bones from the dragon.
Bodies.
Well, I mean, if we need more bones, yes, I suppose.
Alright, so you guys can look around now if you want.
Yes.
We're both going this way, towards the other...
Oh, hey, me
towards
too.
this.
But yeah, let's bring it to life, too. Good idea, Hairball. I'm with Hairball.
Alright, Winslow, what are you doing?
I'll stay with Harold.
Okay. Alright, so Zaminiar, you're staying with him as well? Helping him build a way out of here?
And plus, like, the dude just got fucking slapped a lot. I mean,
This dude took over 100 damage from this thing. Well, thank God he was raging, or else he would not have lasted. But, yep, so you guys can roll your investigation on the Kakos. Whoever got that reference, thank you. Who is messing with their mic right now?
Whoops,
There's a lot of Mikey noises happening.
I think Percy's has been just this way for a bit.
But, yeah, so you guys can roll ahead your investigations. So you both look, and you realize this is also a recently defeated Dragon Lich, as you've been able to discern, and it is dead. It will not come back.
How recently? Is there any signs?
Not necessarily. You could just tell based on the bones, where looking around, a lot of things are old in here. Based on the cuts, you can see that new things had happened, as if several daggers had, like, attacked this thing.
But it all seems to be daggers and not a variety of weapons.
No, daggers and maybe some bows, possibly, but all the scratches look similar. But it looks like they're all from daggers or small, pointy objects.
Okay.
Something a rogue or scout might use, might you say. Alright. He's gonna make...
I start shouting.
Oh, no, you're not supposed to be on advantage still, homie. You silly willy. 14. And Harold's just gonna keep smacking away at a hammer, making some athletics checks to see if he can get this ladder or some sort of system built up. And he looks back and he goes, said that one died from daggers?
Something like that. Some scout weapon.
It's brutal. Means our scouting team took it out. I would assume.
How did they escape the second one?
I'm assuming the second one is what did them in, as some of them are still down here.
Well, I mean, how did they manage to fend off the second one while killing the first one, I guess?
They didn't. They died.
Well, I mean, it just seems like two should have did them in pretty quickly, you know. I'm just amazed at that they were able to withstand one or two long enough to defeat one.
As I said in the briefing, they were a good scouting team.
Very well.
Anyways, I got the ladder built.
Okay.
You guys done?
I'm gonna investigate these bodies here, too.
Alright, go for it.
And also, like, just if the whole area, if there's any other kind of entrances or exits.
Yeah. Alright, you don't see any other entrances or exits. And these bodies are, in fact, you can tell based on the 2 daggers in their hands. And they're fresh skeletons. They They were zapped to a crisp, and were probably a part of the scouting team you can put together.
Do they have any, like, remnants of their uniforms or anything?
Burnt.
Okay.
And with that, do you guys leave?
Wants to ask Zeminiar first if he would know anything about weapon marks.
That means you. Would that be a history check?
Nah. I mean, would Zeminiar know anything about, like, wounds on a bone based on his past?
Maybe.
It sounded like a bunch of bees.
You're the one that can technically tell me yes or no to that.
I would say you're not seeing that many skeletons in your days. You're seeing more of, like, with flesh, not necessarily skeletons.
Yeah, then I'm just gonna look at Haribo and say, "Sorry, I can't really help you. I'm used to killing things that are alive."
Wow.
Better.
You sound
you
like
know.
a real monster.
And you've killed some things.
Well, I suppose that's true, but that doesn't help in the current situation.
Have you tried?
What?
Have you tried licking it?
I don't think I want to lick bones.
I'm sure
sorry.
you licked yours very recently.
Look! Haribo just kind of, like, does the very matter-of-fact hands with Zeminiar, and it's just like, as he's climbing up the steps, apparently.
Yeah. Fair, just gets to the screen.
I haven't learned my lesson, but maybe I've learned it with licking old things. They're very dusty.
Alright.
That's fair. Seriously, you might have one of the most unfortunate good talents I've ever heard of.
It's not one I'm proud of, but my friends have taught me a number of different things.
CSI Haribo. Wait, hold on, what?
What?
My friends have taught me how to lick things and figure out their age, medical details. We're gonna have licking in our days back in the woods.
Truly taught by Sherlock Holmes.
I mean, you're the only one who knows any part of Haribo's backstory to some degree.
True.
That's not true. I've done a thorough investigation.
But you haven't talked about it yet.
Anyways, let's
So
move
Haribo
on.
doesn't know that.
Right.
And at this point, you guys all get up out of there and you walk on out. You see that other people are now in the tomb, kind of just like trying to figure out what happened. And you all walk out of the cave and you see Saris and a small group of men looking around. And she just looks very concerned as Anders runs up. He's like, "My lord!" And he's just like worried about him. He's like, "Get off of me." And he immediately is then going to his tent as Anders is just up his ass like within the millisecond that he exists. As you just hear him like crying, like, "I thought you had died, sir. They couldn't find you."
I know
And
who I'm
he's just-
cursing next.
He's just like, "Please leave me alone." Like, and he's just sitting there like looking as rough as possible. And Saris just kind of lets him walk by, and she looks back at you all as it's now morning, and just like bright at dusk essentially. And there's some warm oatmeal for breakfast. There's much less people around the camp as you would suspect. As you get out, and you realize that there's only about 10 people really kind of wandering about that you recognize from the beginning of this trip, when there was 40 men entirely.
Right.
And then there's the few men that obviously, the 5 men, including Winslow, that came with Saris. And she walks up to you all and she goes, "What happened in there?"
Lots of death.
There was a gigantic skeleton dragon.
and it did not like Harold at all.
I don't know what happened to the other group, though. The group that went right
We found them. They had died as well.
to the same thing?
No.
Uh,
Huh. Well,
They currently have clerics kind of figuring it out, but it looks very similar to the plague that's starting to break out. But on a much worse scale. As we went down there and saw them, they were covered in white pustules, their whole body, eyes, everything. It was gruesome. But they were dead. They had suffocated based on whatever did that to them. Thankfully, I came with the few clerics that were able to protect us and shield us from anything in there. So, it's currently being blocked off and studied along with their bodies have been taken back to the town already.
how do you think?
Or on their way.
How do you think that they? How do you think it spread there? Did they bring it in, or did they contract it from within?
I'm assuming within. But we didn't, we
But-
literally walked in down the stairs and took like a left in the hallway and there they all were. So we didn't even get to explore it, or because we were coming back, we were told we needed recruitments, and we were already scheduled to come later anyways. So we came and we were told that none of the groups had come back yet, and we were originally supposed to go to the other side that you guys were not in, the right corridor. And that's what we found. And Winslow went the opposite way, and I hear he met up with.
Now the plague. You said it's already breaking out in the other cities as well, or in other parts.
It's starting in Grisor.
That seems. So you think it's these men? These men contracted it here, but
Yeah.
it's already in Greece, or how
Yeah.
do you think it got to Greece, or if you think
No idea.
if it started here?
It's not my trade, so
Do you
I
think the
wouldn't be-
dragons may have had something to do with this? That there was a sickness hiding in that cave?
I feel like something's in this cave that is much bigger than we even know. But excuse me, I have to go speak to Harold. And as she walks away, and you realize your two friends that you guys met before the fire were then dead.
Darn.